Angie and I had already been having some conversations about this container outfitting idea that we had, and you all really signed on to kind of be the guinea pigs with Lifeline to do the first one. We have quite a few others that have started in process right now, but none are as complete as yours is. So it's been fun learning with you on that journey of completing that container and working through that whole process. And it's been great connecting with you all through meal pack events. I think now maybe for 3 years, something like that, even though I wasn't involved in the first couple of years. But it's been great to just develop a relationship with you and get to know you all better here over the past few months. And I wanted to take just a little bit of time to share a little bit more about what Lifeline is and what we do. You know us from a couple of things, from obviously the meal packing and now from the container outfitting. There's a whole other side of things that maybe you don't know, and so that's kind of what I wanted to lean into a little bit today. And I'm an introvert, and I'm terrified of public speaking, and I'm pretty I'm functional now, but out of necessity. But anytime I can show a video or something like that, that gives me a chance to relax a little bit. So I have a couple of videos that I'm going to share that'll probably do a better job of explaining what we do than I could anyway. So that's the reason we're inside and going to use the screen there. So hopefully this works here, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so Lifeline is a global ministry. We work in 9 different countries, I think, there. We just started a partnership with an organization, actually the same organization that we partner with in Uganda. We started working with them in Kenya as well, so that's not up there. But you'll notice a lot of our work is in the Americas, so the Caribbean, South America, Central America. Arizona is listed there. You don't really think of that as a global destination, but there's actually an independent nation, a very large independent nation within the United States in Arizona. I don't know if any of you can guess what that is.
Is it indigenous?
The Navajo Indian Reservation. There are quite a few. They're their own country, and we work right off of the Navajo Indian Reservation in Winslow, Arizona. So that's why they're there as well. We're in different places. God's blessed us and called us to work in many different places. One of our vision is just to spark a life on mission for God, everyone, everywhere. So we see God as using us to help people grow outside of their comfort zones, play some role in that and stretching them. Sometimes it's just setting up the opportunity for them to have a conversation or for God to work on their heart. We're not necessarily responsible for what God is going to do with that. We just want to be a part of being a catalyst to help in that. What we do really, what we think we do well is we try and focus a lot on education. You know, that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, is very, very true. And so we also try and do as much prevention teaching as we can. And we provide meals as short-term relief after natural disasters and times of crisis. So the meal packing, a lot of them go for programming like that. So those are 2 of our causes. A third one is economic empowerment. So we train people with vocational and business skills, maybe helping them start their small business, or if they already own a small business, maybe taking it to the next level. We provide microloans to help them take their next step. So one example, in Honduras, in one of our schools, there's a girl, I think she's a junior this year. She has a tortilla factory out of her home. She lives in a home that's just very, very small. But she has a little bit of a small machine to make tortillas, and that's her small business. So she just got a loan from us that she has, I think, 15 months to pay off, and I think it's $500, so it's not a huge loan. But with that, she's going to be able to get a bigger machine, and she'll be able to have a higher volume of sales. She has a business plan all written up. She took some business training with us. She has a business plan written up. She's going to hire a full-time worker, an adult, who's going to work for her while she's a junior in high school. So, really, she's in a community that is next to the city, trashed up, and it's just a lot of poverty there. So really just helping her and others like her to start to change the script a little bit, break through some of those chains of poverty. So that's another area that we're focusing. This is probably our newest area.
And what connected you with her?
She is a student in one of the schools that we operate there. Yeah. So and perfect segue to another cause, transformed youth. So educational programs in classic schools and at-risk communities. Also working with churches to have after-school programs to support the youth of their community, tutoring, additional educational, supplemental education, things like that. So those are the four causes. The fifth one, actually before I go into the fifth one, let me just share with you, this is Roslanda, and this is just kind of her story. It gives you just a kind of a day in the life of a typical child in Grand Gulf, Haiti, where the container is going to go. The current school that's there, you're going to see a lot of scenes from the current school, the church that's there, the medical clinics that's there, and the town where the container is going to. So I thought this would be a good video to share with you. She's just going to tell you what a typical day in her life is like. But we also connected you with a community in Haiti that you don't know them very well yet, but we're very hopeful that you will, and that'll be a deepening connection. We hope that in that process, your lives have been transformed and changed and impacted, just like we hope that their lives are going to be transformed and impacted. So that's really what our ministry focuses on. If you want to boil it down, that's what we do. One of the ministry, philosophies that we use is something called Che. And I noticed that the Potter's House that you all partner with, they use this philosophy as well. Community health evangelism, really, when you see that, you think of like healthcare, don't you? But really, if you think about health, our health, it goes much deeper than our physical health. Now, there's emotional health, there's spiritual health, there's relational health, right? So if I'm in a community where everybody is always afraid and always shut inside their homes and they don't have relationships with their neighbors, that's not a healthy community. If everybody in that community is stuck in poverty and there's not opportunities for jobs, that community is sick. It is not a healthy community. And so if you think about that, there's at least 8 or 9 different levels of a community's health. And so what we use is just this philosophy that ministry should try and address all aspects of a person's health, but also a community's health. So we try and develop communities or help them, come alongside of them and help them develop better health in all those areas. So that's what community health evangelism is. There's all kinds of stuff written on that. You can look that up on your own time and read about it if you're interested. We do that community development or that community health evangelism really focusing on in 5 specific areas where we feel God has called us to work in. So one is with churches. So we want to help churches thrive. So we start new churches, but we also come alongside and help strengthen existing churches. So a lot of that is involved in training church leaders or seeing what programming they're doing and seeing how we can come alongside of them and help them. So I want to just share a little video here from some of the churches, one of the church leaders that we have in El Salvador, Lisandro, and just let him tell in his words kind of the way that Lifeline does ministry, helps churches thrive in El Salvador. So let's watch that. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so we come alongside of churches and pastors like Lisandro and help them develop their methodology for ministering to people. So sports ministry is one way. We're actually getting ready. There's a couple churches that are doing container outfitting projects to go to El Salvador to work with an animal husbandry project along with a church there. In one of the communities they think it'll work well. So a second area that we focus on other than thriving churches is helping restore health and nutrition. So we start mobilizing people or mobilize communities, right? And what I referred to earlier, trying to spark a life on mission for God. And maybe we have a role in that, but again, we're not trying to just keep that for us. We know that God wants us to not live our lives, not spend our lives just on us. He wants us to do something. He wants us to take action, and he wants us to take other people with us. So that's really the challenge that we try and play a role in having God grab a hold of somebody and just challenging them to take steps out of their comfort zone and impact the world around them for Him. So, all right, so that's Lifeline. That's what we do. And I don't know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer.